Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD Starcraft and I'm back for another Heart of the Swarm broadcast. And today I'm going to bring you guys another game from the DreamHack Valencia 2013 tournament. And this is going to be the final match in the round of 8 that I'll be casting. And after this, I'll be moving on into the semifinals and doing the grand finals. And I'll try to get those punched out for you guys as quickly as I can. Because I want to start to cast some more of the other tournaments. We have the Asus ROG actually going on right now as well. So I'll try to get some of those done for you guys, but for now, let's go ahead and get right into this game. This is going to be JYP as the red Protoss in the top right-hand corner. He is one of Korea's finest Protoss players, has a lot more recognition outside of Korea, I think, than inside of Korea, but still a very, very good Protoss. And he is part of Team Evil Geniuses, as is his opponent. It is going to be Jaedong. He is going to be the blue Zerg at the top left-hand corner of Whirlwind. And this is going to be a Zerg versus Protoss. I'll only be casting the first game of this set. And I've already casted some of the games from all the other sets, so you guys should know who is going to be going on into the semifinals. And I cannot wait to go ahead and start casting that as well. That is going to be very, very exciting. We do have a Forge coming up at the front door here for JYP. And looks like he wants to go for a quick expansion. And in tournament style, usually you will see Protoss players go for the Forge opening instead of straight for the Nexus, because it is a little safer and it keeps you protected against something like this. Jaedong is going to be going for an early spawning pool, and he's going for a Zergling attack here. Now the probe is going the right direction right away, so JYP is going to be able to scout this out. And he is going to be very glad that he threw a Forge up before Nexus. Otherwise, he could have just straight up lost this game. And you can see that Jaedong has sent a drone to the top right and an Overlord to the bottom left, so he could immediately find out where his opponent was. Then his Zerglings would not be hesitated when they were coming out. They would go right for the target. And now I think that JYP is going to be okay. He's going to get a gateway and a cannon up. That drone is trying to prevent the buildings from coming by blocking the probe and attacking it, but that probe is just going to go back home and be replaced by two fresh ones. And these Zerglings, I don't think they're going to be able to get any damage done. The photon cannon is up, and Jaedong's initial build here, oh, it's going to leak on by the two probes. Unbelievable right there for Jaedong, able to get beyond the two probes. Now, the thing is, he's got three Zerglings. It's not really enough to actually deal like a crippling blow to JYP. I don't think. It's simply because, yeah, he's gonna get these Zerglings in through into the main base, but with just three Zerglings, it's just an annoyance. It's not a death warrant. You know, it's not a death threat. And JYP here, all he has to do is just keep a few probes, keep attention on his mineral line, and finally, once he gets a Zealot or a Stalker out, he will be able to get rid of these Zerglings. But he should be careful. He needs to make sure that this walls off, just in case there aren't more Zerglings coming. And JYP right now, I mean, he is actually just going to go for the Nexus instead of throwing up another building here. So he's taking a gamble and hoping that Jaedong doesn't bring additional Zerglings, and thankfully for him, that is correct. Jaedong now is going to be expanding, and he is going to be going for, obviously, transitioning into a macro game after basically a somewhat successful early spawning pool attack, although it hasn't really dealt any damage to the probes yet. I don't think any probes have gone down, maybe one or two. And here comes one going down just right there, but a Zergling also falling as well. So a bit of a trade-off as JYP sends a probe of his own out into the middle of the map, trying to find out, is there more Zerg units amassing at the center of Whirlwind here? Do I need to prepare myself for the storm? Is this just the calm in the middle, or is is there more danger to come? And it looks like Jaedong now going to go down to the natural expansion, looking to see if there's anything out there that he can pick off, but there is nothing. And JYP just getting his Zealots in position. He needs to send one over to the main base to protect his main probes as well. I certainly think that would be a good idea, and here comes one right now. And really, right now, Jaedong is just, he's pretty comfortable, I think, where he's at. He's transitioning now into a macro game. He's throwing up a double expand. He's got one at the natural and one at the third. And I think he's looking pretty good. He might want to get some gas going because it is now the 6-minute 30 mark. There we go. Double extractor on the way. And in fact, he will need the gas because he is going to be dealing with Stargate momentarily here. Now, the question is, wow, look at how long Jaedong has kept this scouting Zergling alive. Now, has he seen the Stargate? Yeah, he has. He's got an Overlord just outside the natural expansion, and he knows that there is going to be Stargate tech coming, so he can prepare accordingly. And usually when you're dealing with Stargate units, you want to have gas because everything that, besides the Spore Crawler, everything that can deal with, you know, Void Rays, Oracles, Phoenix, the units of those nature, you need Vespene to power Hydralisks, Infestors, and so on, you know, if you want to go on to Spire. Finally, that scouting Zergling does die for Jaedong. Took basically, you know, 10 years, but hey, eventually all things do come down, and even Jaedong's pro scouting Zerglings, bringing them over from Brood War. If you guys ever watched Brood War professional games, players would keep their scouting Zergling probe or SCV or whatever it was alive for decades, like into the literally the 10 or 12 minute mark. It would still be alive. So yeah, here comes the Stalker from JYP, and he is going to, I guess, fiddle around over here a little bit at the 3rd expansion, but besides killing off a Creep Tumor, I think that Stalker is going to have to run for the hills because there's a lot of Zerglings here. Thankfully, though, the Zerglings don't have Zergling speed yet, mercifully for these 2 Zealots and their Stalker. Although, even without Zergling speed, I think they still will get surrounded. They will. And now JYP will be forced to hold the line, although, you know, when it comes down to it, you want to try to keep the Stalker alive, but no, that guy is going to get surrounded. I think JYP had a chance there to actually run away, but decided to hold his ground and try to kill as many Zerglings as possible, which might not have been the best idea. But we do now have a Mothership Core on the way, finally, as well as a Void Ray from the Stargate, so we are going to be seeing Void Rays, but you know, Jaedong knows. I mean, he sees the Void Ray. He knows exactly what type of air unit is on the field. And against Void Rays, Hydralisks are usually pretty good. So he is going for Hydra Den right now. Got Spore Crawlers up as well. Let's check some of these tabs here. Jaedong at 59 drones, as JYP is at 43. JYP, I think, might be a good idea for him to start thinking about getting a 3rd expansion. He's already got a Pylon and the Mothership Core over there. Overseer is going to fly right into the main base, and a great scout right there from Jaedong, who, you know, it doesn't say a ton, except for the fact that you know, there's going to be gateways coming up, which is obviously what you'd expect to see. And really, this just kind of erases the doubt of, is my Protoss opponent going for mass Stargate? Is he building a 2nd Stargate, or is he going to be going for gateways, transitioning, maybe something funky like a quick Twilight? No. So Jaedong sees that, and now he's going to send some Zerglings over here to the Nexus, and he is going to be able to take this out. Oh my god! Forcing the cancellation off with just a handful of Zerglings. The cost of these Zerglings was less than 400 minerals, and it just destroyed well, it didn't destroy it, but it did force the cancellation of a Nexus, which costs 400 minerals, and you know, really, the future returns on that Nexus are huge, and JYP is not going to be able to recognize that. So that's a great attack right there from Jaedong. Both of these guys, remember, they are teammates, so they know each other's playstyles very, very well. And here comes JYP with an attack. He's coming out with Mass Sentry Zealot Void Ray. This is very unusual. I don't know if this is going to work too well against Jaedong. I mean, Jaedong's got a lot of Hydralisks here, and Hydras are just so good against this type of army as long as you stay away from the Zealots. I don't see how Jaedong can lose this battle, but he is going to play this cautiously, and of course he's got the creep on his side as well, and I don't know, man, this is really risky for JYP, and the longer he fiddles about, the more Zerglings and Hydras join this this army for Jaedong, and Jaedong just trying to bait these force fields right now, trying to limit the amount of force fields he has to deal with once the actual battle goes down, so he's continuing to send in Zerglings. Time Warp Field goes down, oh, that's a great Time Warp from JYP, and force fields are pretty good as well, but the Zerglings are in the mix, they are at the melee range, dealing a ton of damage. Will JYP have enough here? He's trying to bring in additional zealots. I think he might just have enough to break this army. There is a Spore Crawler there as well, though, and the Spore Crawler is just ripping through those Void Rays. Great positioning by the Spore for Jaedong, and Jaedong here just waiting for more reinforcements to arrive. He's also brought drones off the mineral line here, knowing that if he can just stave off this initial attack, he'll have additional reinforcements coming in momentarily, but he is going to lose a lot of drones. Oh my god. And just like that, JYP says, hey, basically I just did some economy harass. Now he can actually pull back, doesn't have to commit anymore to this attack, I feel like, as he's really done some pretty good damage here. And if we look at the units lost tab, 5.5k and 5k respectively, so it's a pretty close game. Of course, JYP almost forced into this situation because he doesn't have a third Nexus, and I feel like the longer this goes on, the more he kind of digs himself into this hole where he's forced to basically win the game on 2 bases. And we all know how that can turn out. So I think right now Jaedong is just focused on holding off the second wave here. He knows that JYP, I guess, can't really pull back because JYP doesn't have a third base. JYP is going to commit to this attack for a second time around, but this time it's not going to go well for him at all. Surrounded from all angles by Hydras and Zerglings, and Jaedong is going to take this battle quite handily, and yeah, this I think is going to be GG. JYP calls GG, and Jaedong is victorious. Now, I normally, you know, I would cast the entire set, but I've been told the second game ends pretty quickly, and it ends in less than 1 minute in favor of Jaedong, so I don't know if I really want to go ahead and cast that, but yeah, Jaedong does win out the round of 8 in the quarterfinals, so he does go on to the semifinals, and there I'm going to go ahead and cast some of those games as well, and that's going to be coming up right after this. I hope you guys enjoyed, and this is HD signing out.